We're going to get around to it. It's going to be discussed. We're going to be discussing it. We're going to be discussing it. Anyway, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Dorks Down Under. This is episode 29. I'm going to have to keep track of these numbers.
Yes.
This is episode 29 of Dorks Down Under for season 2. I'm your host, Jordan, and joining me is Dez.
It's happening. And this is technically part 2 of Jordan.
Two.
Jordan does UK.
Jordan does the UK. Yes. Don't look that up on any X-rated websites because it's very different Jordan.
Wait. Yes. What kind of websites are these, Jordan?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea what you're talking about.
We are both very good boys.
Dorks Down Under.
For those of you, we are obviously available on all good podcast websites. You can also find us available on Twitter and TikTok for our socials. Please reach out. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Obviously, all the traffic helps all the algorithms and everything else and blah, blah, blah. And let's dial straight back into it. So, where we last left the podcast was Warhammer World.
Yes. So Jordan, lovely enough, left that out, but we were about an hour.
I did forget that.
I don't know how, but yes, supposedly he left that out. I reckon he's done it to get us a bit of a hook, so season 2 can be all about Warhammer World.
Yes, because that's the entire point of my entire thing. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Exactly why.
I'm trying to make you sound smarter than what you are. Pretty much.
Yes.
He kind of forgot. Somehow I have no idea because this was one of the things that we were talking most about prior to going to it. But for whatever reason, he's like, nope, I'll forget it.
So to backtrack on the trip, in Nottingham on the first day, after it was...
So did you go there the first day?
I'm trying to think now which day I went. No, it was the second day of Nottingham that we went.
So you got to the UK, went to Nottingham, and then
No. This is like day 10, day 11, something like that. We're talking about, because Nottingham we had 2 days, we were at Nottingham for 2 days, that's what I meant. So yes. Second day of Nottingham, we went to Warhammer World, because Ellie went shopping for the day, because we just got the tram in. So that's one thing actually that's changed quite a lot. From last time we were in Nottingham, they've got an entire tram going through the entire city centre now.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is really good. And so it means that, because it used to be about the last time I went to Warhammer World for a tournament, half the streets were all blocked off because obviously they're putting in the tram lines. So it was an absolute nightmare. But now that it is, I mean, we went up to a parking ride, we parked up for the day, just paid our money, got on, cracked on. It was really good. And just being able to get in. So now, if you wanted to go to Warhammer World for a tournament, you don't have to be in the middle of the city centre to enjoy it, because you can get there on the tram quite easily.
Yeah, because somebody was saying it's a fair way out. Like it's not like in the heart of Nottingham.
It's not in the city centre per se, but it was always a bit of a bugger to get to.
Yeah, because that's what I remember hearing. People are like, "Oh, it's a bit of a ball ache to get to, but it's definitely worth it."
Yeah, it was always a ball ache to get to, but and it was worse when they were doing the tram lines because everything became one-way systems and all that jazz and blah 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 blah. But now the tram's there, suddenly you don't have to have a hotel in the middle of Nottingham to go and enjoy it, sort of thing. You can easily, you could easily be on the other side of Nottingham where it's probably a bit cheaper, and then drag yourself back across, sort of thing, on the tram. It's quite simple. Pretty straightforward. And trams are nice and big and clean and spacious, so it's all good.
Nice.
So Ellie went shopping for the day, and I took the boy to Warhammer World,
which he would have hated, of course. He's getting right into it, and we have bought in.
Yes.
So also Games Workshop, if you're listening, we got somebody in. So if you want to sponsor us.
Yeah, like they would touch me with a barge pole after last time. Anyway,
I don't want to know, but I kind of want to know.
Oh, God. But anyway, that's a different story for another day. Where were we? Right, Warhammer World. So, yeah, obviously we got to Warhammer World. Things have changed quite very differently there now. Now, for example, it used to all be free. You used to walk in, you used to be able to do the museum, see the floor, and do Bugman's Bowl for free. Now, the way they've changed all the layout inside is you can obviously go to the store for free. That's not a problem. You can also go to Bugman's Bar for free. But if you want to see the museum, which now is, I would say, easily 3 times the size that it was, and it's all set up properly.
Oh, wow.
Here's the start of how they started, and then it goes into here's all the fantasy stuff, and then you go through all the 40k stuff, and then here's the massive diorama in the middle, and blah blah blah. So they've set it all up in sort of like you take a travel through it, and it's really good now how they've done it. And it was actually relatively cheap; it wasn't that bad. You know, I was happy to pay, but I was obviously making comments saying, "Oh, I used to be free when I was last year." So when were your last year? I said, "Oh, it was 10 years ago." That I used to work for you, and I'm like, "Oh my god, oh well, who's managing this and that?" And so we sort of had a quick chat, but
and you still had to pay. Damn it!
Oh, yeah, it's not
Fuckers.
It was worth dropping it, worth dropping it, sort of thing. See if I can get anything for free, but nothing. But yeah, so of course we went and did the museum first before we had lunch, and the museum was fantastic. I mean, I loved it. I've obviously there's a lot more to look at now, which is great, and lots more dioramas and stuff like that. But it was just good for Eddie because Eddie was getting really into it. He liked to have a look at the details and sort of he's like, "Oh, Dad, have you seen this? This looks really cool." It's like, yeah, no, come on.
I just hope he doesn't think that as soon as he starts painting, he's going to be that good because these guys have been doing it for days.
I have made sure he's aware because he has chosen his colour scheme. We've now got the colour scheme has been cemented.
Cemented.
The colour scheme is cemented.
It's official.
He is adamant on what colour scheme he is doing for his Marines.
Is it a secret, or are we going to get him on for a podcast?
I think I'm probably better off telling you. He wants to do black with yellow highlights.
I like that. That's sick.
Which is fine. Absolutely fine. No problem at all. I have even said to him, right, I need to give you a fair warning now. Black is not the easiest of colours to paint, but I will help you as best I can.
Yes.
So.
But that being said, though, that's going to look sick. Like, obviously, he's going to use a lot of greys and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, no, so I'm thinking that I think the way I'm going to do it is, obviously, base paint it black, dark grey lots of dark grey dry brushing is what I'm thinking, and then obviously with like a black wash or black couple of washes, sort of make it dark sort of thing. So it should work. We'll make it work.
I must say though, that's considering that like when you hear about kids and when they sometimes want to go, they're like, I'm going to do yellow and friggin' magenta, and you're God.
Well, no, it's like, no, normally it's, I want to do the ones that's on front of the box. Like, no. It's like, don't buy into corporate.
What's weird though, the first 3 models I painted were originally Eldar. And that was the funniest thing. And then
you was an Eldar player, I wouldn't say that, God forbid.
And then I did a Helldrake. Oh, no, not a Helldrake, they came in a box set and my friend bought them and didn't like it, so he wasn't going to use it. So I painted it for a competition, which I placed second in. You know, it was kind of like the Dreadnought, but it was like the Chaos version. Hellbrute.
Oh, Hellbrute, yeah.
And then that was fun, but yeah, no, and then obviously I needed an army for it. And a friend of mine went, oh, I've got some spare these. Do you want to buy these and I'll paint them for you? So I was like, yep. And then he's like, what do you want them? And I'm like, this. And he went, I hate you. So then he painted them yellow. I was like, yes.
Yeah. No, about to say it's, about to say it was all, about to say, yeah. So we had a great time in the museum. Obviously we went to Bugman's Bar. I'll tell you what, the food's gotten better at Bugman's Bar. I'll tell you that. It's actually quite good now. It used to be really greasy. It's a lot better now.
That's what you said. It's just like some poor kid in the back just chucking everything in a deep fryer. He ordered a salad. Just chuck it in a deep fryer, love. All right.
Honestly, that's the way it felt like. I swear to God. But yeah, it's all really good now, sort of thing. So yeah, food was good. The ale, I could leave. Because I've discovered that I understand why all you Southern Hemisphere people complain about British beer being warm. I understand what you mean now, is that we don't chill ales down cold enough for your liking, and I agree. It's wrong.
That was the weirdest thing. So when I was working in London, we actually had our ales in our fridge down the bottom because we had a fridge in the basement that cooled our kegs as well as our ale kegs. And there were certain people that would be like, oh, this, he goes, oh, I actually really like this. It's nice and crisp because it has that small amount of chill on it. But like some of them I was like, oh my God, how do you drink this shit?
Yeah, it was really funny because obviously I drink hazy IPAs and APAs and everything else here.
Yeah.
Because it's all nice and cold here. It's great. It's fabulous. tastes great. But then obviously I'm like, I get there and it's like, oh, I'll try this as an IPA, I'll try that. And then you realise that it's cold up until like your third sip, and it's like, why is it warm? It's like, oh, it's wrong.
That was the weirdest thing, and that was one thing that I was scared of when I first went to London. Is people were like, they drink their beer warm. I was like, what? And they're like, they drink their beer warm, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. You sure? And then when I went there, it was good because you also had the extra cold, which to me just sounded funny because it was served at the temperature that most beers are served at.
But yeah, so anyway, so after Bugman's, we had lunch at Bugman's, and then we went to the shop. And of course, so now they have a Forge World store section and a Games Workshop store section.
That I reckon in itself is genius, because the problem with Forge World is like I've bought, I think, one thing from Forge World because a friend of mine was doing a big order, so I put in for it just because they were all my group of friends. And I remember it coming in, it's a mold release on it, it was greasy, it took forever to get here. And I was just like, oh god. So it must be good just to be able to go there and pop in.
One thing that has changed massively, and this is not just a Warhammer World, this is actually every Warhammer store, is now Warhammer stores are allowed to sell Forge World items.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
in the UK only?
No, worldwide. So back in my day, so back in my day, Forge World was its own entity, even though it's owned by Games Workshop, but of course Forge World did all the cool shit.
Yeah.
You wanted Forge World shit, and this is the thing, but the only place you could get Forge World shit was you either had to go to Warhammer World to pick it up, and you could look at it in person, or B, you had to order it and take a chance on it arriving. And, you know, if it was damaged or anything like that, you took photos and they would be alright with it, but it was always... there's always this misapprehension of ordering something and not seeing it.
Yeah.
And you don't, it's like you want to be able to see it and then go, I want one of them, please. Which I understand, because I'm very much the same.
Yeah, because I remember Squidmar Miniatures, he did something like that, where he got the, what was it, the Manta? The giant towel thing that he had that was just next level insane. And two of their bits were things, so they had to take photos of it and this, that, and the other. Then they had to write the name of the person that packaged it. And I was like, poor Greg down in distribution's going to get his butt kicked again. And then they had to wait. I think he said they waited 6 to 8 weeks to get replacements because they had to recast the whole thing. I'm like,
it is. It's one of those things of like, it kind of sucks, but I understand why sort of thing. But so obviously, as I think in one of the previous podcasts, I did mention that I was getting a Titan.
Yes, with all the goodies. All the goodies.
All the goodies. So, of course, I turned to Forge World. And they got the body. And they got 2 of the weapons in stock. They do not have anything else. And I'm like, okay. And but then I suddenly realised that half the shelves are empty. And I'm like, why are your shelves empty? Mate? Well, we had a massive... they had one of the biggest tournaments on the weekend.
No.
So literally the entire Forge World store and Games Workshop store are half empty, and I'm like, crud.
Balls.
Because of course Eddie wants to get something because we're here, and I said, you know what, we are here. You can get a mod. That's fine. This is a story I'm coming on to. Don't worry. But I was like, right. I said, so curiously, can I order and get stuff delivered? And I said, yeah, sure. So they walked me through the thing, and I'm like, yep, sure, no problem.
Did you get it delivered here, or could you get it delivered in UK?
I got it delivered here because it's free.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I was going to say.
And it was tracked. And I was like, yes. We had a mission though, because apparently I did not realise, and neither does Warhammer World, because they don't take responsibility once you place the order. If you order anything that's coming to New Zealand, if it's over 1,000 New Zealand dollars, you have to have an import license.
Oh shit!
Yes. But you can apply for it for free. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Well, no, it's not free per se, but anyway.
Would you have to pay taxes though?
UPS, no. So no, because I paid taxes in the UK, so I don't have to pay any agreement. Blah blah X, Y, and Z. But I had this lady contacting me from UPS Air, and she's like, "Have you got an import license number?" And I went, "No. Why do I need one?" She went, "Because you've ordered something that's gone to New Zealand that's over $1,000." And I went, technically it's not. I only paid this much. In British money, she went, very funny, you know. Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, alright, what do I have to do? She went, so I'll send you a form, you have to fill it in, send it back to me, and I'll send it off, and then there'll be a fee charge, and blah, blah, blah. I said, so what happens to the number? I said, once you've got a number, that's your number. I said, so if I wanted to order something that's over $1,000 in future, then yeah, you just give me the import number and then we go from there. I went, oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool. So it's kind of like an import license for life.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Because if I was a commercial entity selling stuff on, I'd have to renew it and go through all the checks. But because I'm doing it for personal thing, it's not a thing anyway.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So I eventually got that signed and sent back to the lady down the line. I can't remember exactly where, but anyway, so that's all good. But anyway, so I ordered my Titan, and while I was there, I was like, well, I haven't spent all my money technically because obviously I had an allowance for 2 more weapons I haven't spent, and I was like,
but didn't you buy them and get them sent home?
Yeah, I know, but still.
But they don't count.
I was like, well, I'll add on a Titan Tech Priest while I, because why not?
What do I actually don't even know what a Titan Tech Priest looks like.
Oh, it's the Cogboy. It's the Cogboy. He's like an extra model. He doesn't do anything. He's not even a really good Battlefield model. I just saw it and I was like, yeah, I'm on that as well.
What is it? Titan Tech?
It was the Titan Tech Priest on Forge World. Yeah. I literally just ordered it because I thought, yeah, screw it. I'll get that as well. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I had to resist ordering Grot tanks because I just saw them and I realised I could have bought Grot tanks.
Grot tanks would have been sick. I don't know if they're any good in game, but I kind of want to buy them. I saw them at Arc last year. Somebody was selling them on Secondhand Sunday, so they have a Secondhand Sunday there, and I was like, oh my god, got things, and I was like, how much are they? And they were like $50 for like 4 of them or something. And I'm like, I'm gonna go buy that. And I literally went back to grab my wallet, and some dude just went, they're too cool not to take, and he'd already bought them. I was like, mother.
Yeah, God forbid. But yeah, so I ended up getting that, and then we went through to the GW store bit.
Yeah.
And Eddie was like, because of course the Titan was for me. That's a personal project. That's not involved in mine and Eddie's project. I've always wanted a Warhound Titan, so that's pet project. We lifted there. So I said to Edward, I said, right, okay, you can get 1 model for your army to upgrade your starter set.
And when you said 1 model, was there any limitations, or is it just from this Warhammer bit?
I said you could get one model that goes with your Space Marine army, and I'll get something that goes with mine, because obviously if you get something, I need something to
balance it a little bit.
Balance the power level, don't I?
Well, you can't just throw a Titan on there?
Oh, trust me, he attempted that logic, trust me. But we ended up, so he was looking at the Space Marine section, he went, can I get a tank? And I said, you could. I said, one thing I would recommend, actually, is that you need probably a troop transport, the Rhino, good solid thing. He went, I want the Land Raider. I went, no, you're not getting a Land Raider.
That's one of my dream models. So
and he went, why can't I have a Land Raider? I said, because if you get a Land Raider, and then I walked over to the Tyranid section, and I pulled down the Trigon.
Oh, okay.
Said, if you get that, I have to get this. And he went, that looks ridiculously powerful. I went, it is. Put it back. So we both put our thing right. I said, right, look again. And they said, look, the Rhino there is a good solid troop transport. You can protect your guys. You can do all this. He went, could I get the tank one? I went, what tank one? He pulls out the box. It's a Predator tank.
Yes.
And I'm like, it's not the Primaris one. It's not the floaty one. It's actually just the normal one. And I was like, okay, well, if it still plays roughly the same, we can.
I believe so.
Work. And I was like, yeah, sure, we can get that sort of thing, because of course he's super excited. He's like, I get it.
Yeah.
So he's like Cloud9. I'm like, yeah, sweet, fine.
Because the Land Raider was the one model that I've always wanted, and there was 2 Arc Secondhand Sunday that I grabbed one. I put it in the back because Kiwi Sam runs the Secondhand Sunday. And I was like, Sam, I'm literally just getting money out. I'm in the middle of cooking lunch. Can you save this for me? And then I'll do it. And then the dude that was selling it didn't realise and came behind and went, oh, why is this sitting here? Someone forgot to put it on the table. Put it on the table. Yeah. And I've got done twice that way. And I was like, damn it. I'm like, because I just want a Land Raider just because they're dumb. They're so big. They're so stupid. There's no point.
I've got 2. I've got 2 in my Salamander's army.
Like, I don't understand why I would use them, but I just think it'd be fun as hell just to see this massive tank.
Honestly, Land Raiders are overpowered in the Space Marine army. Because basically it's a tank and a troop transport at the same time, so it works in both aspects. Yeah. So anyway, so he gets the tank, so I thought, right, great, right. So now I know he's aiming at that level, great, right. So now I know what I'm aiming for. But I walk over and realise, because as we've said, the tournament's happened.
Yeah.
Everything's devastated, and of course the new NIDs are out. So in the NID section is barren.
Yeah.
There's like a Trigon model, there's a couple of little Termagant squad, there's nothing on this shelf, and I'm like, brother, do you have anything out back that can combat a Predator? And he's like, well, you got the starter set, you got the scream effect. Yeah, I know I've got the scream effects, but I need something I can put in. And he said, well, you could buy 2 or 3 boxes of Terror. I said, I'm not buying multiple, but I want 1 box. I've only got room for 1 box.
He's like, I used to work here. I know your bullshit. Stop playing these games.
He's like, no, literally, because the Forge World guy says that the next stock delivery was Wednesday, which is like 2 days away at this point, because I think we were there on a Monday. And he's like, yeah, we've already rushed through several orders, and we were actually they were taking stuff off other stores. They were skimming off stores over just to fill the shelves.
You'd think what you do is, if you know that's coming, is just buy like a month's worth of stuff and throw it up there. Because if it's there...
The thing. Well, no, the factory make it, but the problem is the factory, they're in runs if you think about it. So they're making, they can only make certain things, and you can't mess up the schedule for a tournament.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
But I mean, just for example, either have like you can't have orders for this week and take them from all the stores and then ship them out from there. Whatever's left over can be shipped out, but like, damn.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, we were there on a Monday, and of course it's school holiday, so it was busy as, even for a Monday, it was slammed, and obviously all the kids were like mental, they were just losing their minds over collective Warhammer. Anyway, so of course I said, curiously, is the store in town still here? He said, well, the one in the city centre. I went, yeah. I said, because we're going there next. He went, yeah, it's still there. And I said, okay, that's fine. So we ended up going back to the city centre after this. And Eddie's buzzing. He's got a tank and I've got nothing. I'm like, don't worry, I'm going to get something. So I ended up going to the Warhammer store because Eddie took Edward for a bit. And then I went to Forbidden Planet to get my godson a birthday present.
Forbidden Planet, hello. That sounds...
Forbidden Planet is one of the biggest comic book stores in Britain. But they also do, like, anime figures. Basically it's the generic geek shop. You can get your comic books, you can get your anime figures, you can get, like, action figures of whatever.
I was going to say, because I'm pretty sure we had a Forbidden Planet here for a little while.
Yeah,
and
it's a bit of a bad name, but I kind of get where they're going with it.
It was a much more forbidden...
So literally,
anime, shall we say?
The Forbidden Planet store is right opposite the Warhammer store, so it's like, great, I can kill 2 birds in one stone. So I went to Forbidden Planet, I got this graphic novel and an action figure for my godson, and then I went over to Warhammer World, and of course I literally walk in and got the standard Games Workshop tactic of, he's on me within 3 seconds.
That kills me. I want to stab people.
And I'm like, right, I said, right, brother, listen, I used to work for years, I'm in here for very quickly for one thing only. He went, okay, what's the problem? I said, we've got the Leviathan starter set. He went, yes. So I have not been in for 10 years. My son's bought a Predator tank while we're at Warhammer World. I went, right, okay. I need something that can combat it, but not obviously ridiculously levels of high power. He went, okay, so what do you want? I said, he said, well, a Trigon. I said, no, a Trigon. No. I remember what a Trigon does. I'm not stupid, and I guarantee they haven't nerfed it that badly.
Yeah.
And he went, no, okay. And I said, right, what about, like, do you have, Warriors still any good? Like, the Tyranid Warriors? He went, yeah, Warriors is decent. I went, right, fine, give me them. Because on this, then I've got
get a Carnifex, man.
Well, it comes with this. You get the Carnifex in the starter set. So it's called the Scream Effect. It's the Scream Effects variant, but it'll rip open the Predator tank quite easily, I can imagine. So anyway, so I ended up getting one. I ended up just getting like a pack of Warriors, and I'm like, there we go, that's me, sorted. At least these do the job. They're quite big and beastly and everything else.
Yeah.
Sorted. So that was Nottingham, and then obviously we went to our friends. So
now we've fast forward to York.
Fast forward to York,
because that's where we were, but we forgot about the most important thing.
So we were at my friend Liz's and her husband Sean's, and who's also my friend for university. Lovely couple, great. He has a 3D printer. That's where I sent you all the models he'd been printing, especially the Orc Boys ones. And you were like,
yeah, there's some great models out there. Like. I must say, there's a couple of sites that I went on that really dodgy, sketchy looking thing on Telegram, which is just like, it's the weirdest place. You go there and you're like, okay, sweet. And normally it's easy if you can find somebody that's been on there and they'll add you to a channel. But then it's just about 300 people messaging like, hi, how are you? And then they're trying to offer you like bloody Bitcoin and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I bought a Bitcoin from Wish. I've already got one. I don't need any more.
Yeah.
But it's a weird place.
So that was actually our first barbecue of UK as well. Because it was a super hot day and everything else. It was funny because Sean was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have a barbecue tonight." I went, "Awesome, great." You know, suddenly I'm like, "Yes, hot day, beer, barbecue, sorted." I'm happy as Larry.
Good sausages finally.
But of course, I look around and I'm like, "Where's your barbecue?" And he said, "Oh, I've got a tripod mount that's gonna go over the fire pit." And I'm like, "Oh, even better."
Open fire. Oh.
Open fire barbecue. And I was like, "Great." I said, "When's the last time you used it?" He went, "Oh, it's still in the box. We've never used it." I went, "Okay, great."
It is London, so you can
Do you
kind
know
of...
what to do with it? And he went, "No." And I went, "Did you hope that I would turn up and maybe show you what to do?" He went, "Kind of, you know." I'm like, "Come on then, let's get it assembled." so here's me, Muggins, drinking beer and building this tripod set. And then, so we got it all built, and I was like, "Right, go get the oil." He went, "Oh, no, you don't need oil, it's stainless steel." I went, "Go get the oil."
Yeah, I was
"Why
going to
do I
say.
need oil?" I went, "Get the oil, we need to season it." He went, "What?" Say, "Get the oil, don't question." I said, I've turned up, I'm being generous as is. Get the oil. Do as you're told.
I hate when people do that. It's stainless steel. It's like, yeah, it doesn't mean you can cook straight on it. Like,
Yeah. No. Well, no, it was just because obviously he's like, "I don't understand why you need oil on it." He's like, "I'm going to show you why you need oil." And then so we ended up having a great barbecue. We cooked loads of stuff on the it was really good. Absolutely amazing. And then, of course, I cleaned it at the end and I said, "Right, at the end, whenever you've used it, you scrape all, scrape it all off.
all the tasty bits off.
And then you oil it again." He went, "Why'd you oil it again?" I went, "Because it protects the metal and lasts twice as long." "Oh, okay."
Why do you... I feel like sometimes I'm like, why do you service your car?
It's like, I felt like such a dad, and I was like, "Oh, God forbid, Sean, shouldn't be showing you this at your age. Come on, oh God, you don't know what to do. Here we go." It's just like, because he's got all the barbecue set and the prongs and tongs and all this jazz. Yeah, it was all good fun. We had a great laugh with it, actually.
That's one thing I'm looking forward to when my house is finally built, which touch wood should be titling any time now.
Awesome.
It's meant to be titling in September, the thing, and then obviously from there they build. But I'm like, I just want a barbecue. I miss having a barbecue. Also,
hey,
it's so
nice.
nice.
I'm on the invite list. I'll tell you that.
Maybe.
On the invite list.
I was going to say, I need someone to set it up over my fire pit.
Screw it, I'll turn up and do it for your fire pit, absolutely. But yeah. So then after Nottingham, what did we do after Nottingham? Nottingham was then across to Cumbria. Oh no, I've got to tell you about this story,
God.
actually. So, literally, because of course, as I said earlier, everyone was saying, "Oh, where's the next step?" Which is, "Oh yeah, we're off to Cumbria after this." And Liz was like, "Oh my God, you've got to stop by a store on your way." And I went, "What store?"
Is it Greg's?
It's called, no, it's called, the store was called Simply Dutch. And I'm like, "Okay, what's that?" She went, "It's an alternative furniture store." And I went,
It's IKEA. What? So is it an imitation IKEA?
No, it's not IKEA. It's really, right, okay, how do I describe it? So basically, they do, like, lots of, so you can they do reclaimed furniture, they also do, unique bits and bobs and refurbed and all this jazz, which is all good. But they also do, like, unique little alternative statues. So, like, you can get your inside statues and outdoor statues of the three monkeys with, wouldn't see no evil, but they're swearing and stuff like this. And they do metal signs and everything else. Like, so we've ended up buying from. I'll tell you how I knew we were going to have a good time. We pulled into the car park, reversed in, and in the front window. So bear in mind, window display of the store. There's a bar. There's a bar leaner, but the seats are all Vespers.
Oh, that's sick.
And literally, Ellie was like, "Oh my God," and I was like, "Oh crap, we're going to walk out of here with something, aren't we?" And I thought, how am I going to tell Ellie no? So I literally just knew that we're going to walk through this store, she's going to, oh! You can already envision what you're going to see. And I'm like, "Oh God." And literally, and I'll tell you what, the Vespa Barlina, I'll tell you what, I would have had that. I would have had that outdoors. I'll tell you what, I've actually got the spot picked out. I can tell you that.
Well, can they ship?
Exactly where
can they ship? That's the question.
Oh, we asked that question. I said, "Oh, do you do shipping?" She went, "Oh yeah, we do." I said, "Oh, to New Zealand?" She went, "No, we had trouble once getting something to Scotland." And I was like, "Bear in mind, we're just below Scotch Corner. It's not exactly far."
Yeah, I was going to say, you could have walked it there, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's not exactly far to Scotland, but anyway. So it was.
You should have said to him. You should have said to him, "I've got an import license."
Yeah, oh no, we didn't have that at the time. We didn't even realise that was a problem at the time, Des.
That is true.
But yeah, it was so it was really funny. So we walked around this store. I'll tell you what, we saw this beautiful, massive blanket trunk. God,
A blanket truck?
Trunk.
Yeah,
Trunk.
like a trunk. You put like a treasure chest. You put blankets in.
This thing looked like imagine like a treasure chest, but without the curved bit at the top. It looked really literally. I was walking up the stairs first, and this thing just caught my eye. I was like, "Ooh, that's nice. I like that."
But what do you need a blanket thing for?
Because actually, we thought right. So in our media room, which is literally behind this wall, is like we thought. Well, actually, you have that. That's your coffee table, and then you got all the blankets in there. So when it's a bit, if you're having a cozy movie night and all that, you can pull out the blankets and put them on. It's like so. Literally, it was just like. Ooh,
but a whole chest just for blankets. Wouldn't you just put them in like a linen cupboard?
No, because you've not met. You've met my wife?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But the linen cupboard's for linen, it's not for blankets.
But I always just thought blankets was also linen, technically. But
oh god, no, it's not technically. Anyway, but so we ended up, literally, the only thing we walked out with, so we found a metal sign that says the 19th hole, because obviously we live just off a golf course now, we keep getting golf balls in. So when we build that pagoda, we're going to put that on the golf ball, we're going to put that up there as it's the 19th hole.
That's very funny.
So it's good, which is quite fun. And it was the last of as well, but they didn't give me 10% off that.
Those fuckers.
Absolute bastard. You tell you're up north then, they won't even give you a discount for lost ofs.
Yeah.
And then what else? Yeah. Oh yeah, Ellie found this. Because we were talking about getting a doorbell.
Yes.
And of course I wanted a Ring doorbell. Ellie was like, no, I'll just get a normal one. But she had this crazy idea, before we went about she wanted a bell, like a bell, like ding, ding, ding.
Like an old school bell, yeah.
Like an old school, but mounted, like a mounted one. So, so it's so you could ring. So if you're in the garden, you can hear it ringing.
Yeah.
So, and she was just like, I want one of these. And I was like, yeah, we'll have a look. And of course, we're in New Zealand, we can't find anything like that. And of course, in this one damn shop we're in, this one damn random shop in the middle of Yorkshire, what can you get? Mounted bells. And we found a smaller one, so we could fit in the case for a start.
I can just imagine though, like the poor baggage handlers just like throwing bags and just hearing these jingles or these bells ringing. You're like, what the hell?
But yeah, it was just one of these small ones. It's cast iron as well, and it's got a cow on top. I don't know why we got one with a cow on top, but we did get one with a cow on top. Literally, but it does make quite a nice sound. I will admit. It's quite nice when you ding 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 ding. It's because we're a child.
I was going to say, so now you've got something that the Australia Post, or in your case, I don't know what the couriers or postal services are like in yours. It's like, I spent all this money on a bell just so they couldn't ring it.
Yeah.
Because our couriers are 10 shades. I was literally working from home, especially to get this package, and they said we couldn't get through the gate. And at the time, I literally messaged the people, and I called them, and they said, the guy said he couldn't get through the gate. I was like, just FYI, I'm going to put you on a video call. I've literally just walked outside because I've just got the message, because as you can see, it's only come through 2 minutes ago. I haven't walked down. This is the view, and there's a view all the way down, and the gate's open. I'm like, the gate is left open now because the code on it doesn't work. How could he not get here? And then they call, and then he goes, that's just what he said, and we don't know whether it was open when he got there, this, that, and the other. I was like, motherfuckers. About 20 minutes later, I get a knock on the door, and he's put the thing there, and there's a little note, sorry, I was just being lazy. I'm like, fucking.
That's ridiculous.
I hate couriers.
Yeah. So anyway, we got a bell and a 19th hole sign from this, but it was a great store. It was really random. In fact, I'll send you the link so you can have a look at it, look at yourself. Oh. It's really stupid. And we've actually literally already said that if we know anyone who's moving over to New Zealand and they're getting a container for their house, because obviously, like, we thought we'd fill the container, but we only filled 3/4 with our house. And
that's a good idea.
But we said if someone's going to move over and they're not going to fill the container, we'll buy the last bit of the container so and then one of us will fly back and get loads of, because we kept seeing stuff along the way that we wanted to buy.
That's kind of ingenious. I never even thought about that. Like, I mean, obviously I've lived overseas, but never had to move an entire house. But like, I never even thought about like getting a container, or that was actually a thing.
Yeah, well, honestly, because you wouldn't just get, because most companies will, you could buy partial of the container, but we don't want to do it with randomly. We'd rather do it with, so-and-so's coming over, or they're moving to Australia. Even Australia to New Zealand's at least a little bit closer.
Yeah.
To try and get shipping done. So anyway, so we'll end up doing that at some point, we reckon. But yeah,
and is that you buying your Vespa bar and then putting the whole 19 on it?
It could be. You never know. So then after Simply Dutch, we then went to Cumbria for 5 days, and that was a lovely 5 days we had in Cumbria. Me and Nelly had a romantic night we went to Waswater, or Wasdale, as it's also known as, and we stayed at the pub there, which is the Strands Inn.
Is that the picture? Is that the pictures that you sent us? Is that one that you're recreating your wedding photo, or your?
No, that's down south. No, the photos you're thinking of, which I'll happily edit in, which is me with my top off.
Yeah, that was because there was like that was the most bizarre one, because I'm like, oh, that's sweet. He's recreating that photo, and then after that there was just Jordan with his top off in a lake, and I'm like,
I wasn't in the lake. I was posing.
By the lake. Yeah, but it was. I must say,
this is before I put on about 4.5 kilos. I tell you, Jesus Christ, it was ridiculous.
I must say, I was expecting to at some point see that photo, whether he posted it online or something. I wasn't expecting topless photos of him, and I was like, I'm wondering, and I was also questioning, I'm like, how did he get his wife to take this? And
she was howling. She thought it was the funniest thing ever, just me doing it. And tell you what, that was the first ever time we've ever been to Waswater, and it's actually been perfect day, beautiful, sunny. We had a massive walk all the way up the lake. It was stunning, and yeah, it was just amazing. But that is the. I told the story on the podcast about that's the deepest lake with the gnome garden that got moved because no one knows who did it.
Yeah.
The police went down and they couldn't move it because it's like 50 feet below the police safety guidelines for a dive.
That's insane.
Yeah, so anyway, we did that. The next night we had a night out in my hometown, on Workington, which has changed quite a lot, and it's changed that much that I've told my wife that I will never subject her to a night out in my town ever again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bear in mind, my town used to have like a 32 pub circuit.
Yeah.
So, literally, you could pub crawl the entire day. It's down to 12 pubs.
Yeah.
And
wow.
And most of all the small cool niche ones have gone. Some of the bigger ones have been sold, and one of my bars I used to work in called Yankees Bar has been sold. It's now called the Junction, and it is gaudy and awful and looks wrong. It does not belong in the north for a start off.
Oh, really? Is that fancy and posh?
Yeah, it's called the Junction. It's got the standard London Underground logo symbol called the Junction, and it's bright white and red on the outside, bright white with red highlights around the window frame. Is oh my god, because we came from it run the wrong way, and I was like, what the hell is that? And what have they done to my pub?
That's the worst thing, because I know for example, obviously we were talking about Ted Lasso a few episodes ago. Great episode. That one is one of my favourite episodes. Go listen to that. But yeah, the Britannia where I used to work has been taken over. So when the massive pub company went under, and then all they did is sold a whole heap, and then they came back as another company with the pubs they wanted to keep. Somebody's bought it, and it's got white. It's I think it's got light pink walls inside. They've kind of made it a lot more, almost when my friend sent me pictures to them after I said, oh, this is the pub I used to work at, they went, is it a pub or is it a high tea place? Because it's got that kind of old school high tea-esque place. And I was just like, and it's weird when you've worked there, when you've put so much work into cleaning it, so much work into doing all these things, and then it changes. It kind of feels like almost like your home's been changed, or you going back to a home that you used to have and they've knocked it down.
But literally, so from the next morning, I mean, we had a nice night. We ended up what? I think it was 1:30 in the morning. It was ridiculous. We were up really late, and we had a good night. But literally, the next day I was like, you know what, I'll never subject you to a night out on Wellington again, Shane.
Yeah.
I said, I know, babe. So I said, I'm really sorry. I said, what are you sorry for? Times have moved on, and places have changed, and there's obviously I've outgrown. I've realised that I've suddenly dawned on me that I've outgrown Workington, which is horrible as a thing.
Or you're just not posh enough.
Not posh enough. Are you kidding me? God forbid. Anyway, so yeah, after that, then it was 3 days of catching up with family and best friends and everything else, sort of thing. Groomsmen and all that. It was
that would have been magic. Just to kind of come home, come home and just kind of be.
It was nice being in Cumbria, and it was funny. The last dinner we had was with Kaylee, who's my other groomswoman, and she said, "Oh, I'm making," she messaged the night before saying, "Oh, I'm making sausage casserole." I said, "As long as it's Cumberland sausage, we're all good." And she went, it's not, so you can get your disappointment out of the road now, out of the way now. And I was like, oh, fine, as long as it tastes fine, it'll be alright. And so we went around the next night, and we were having fun and jokes, and literally, we were there like 10 minutes, if that, and she went, right, I need to talk about the dinner now before I say anything else. And I went, why? What's wrong with it? And me thinking, has the cooker exploded?
Did she burn it? Did she
what's gone wrong? Thinking something like that. She went, well, so me and Lee, we went vegan 2 years ago. And I stopped looking. I looked at Dad and I was like, and then I looked at Lee, and Lee went, oh no, she's been vegan 2 years. It took me I've only been vegan about a year, Jordan. Don't get me wrong. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, fabulous. I said, are you okay with that? I said, of course I am. I said, I'll eat anything as long as it's edible. I'll eat it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we had a great meal, fabulous. It was lovely. It was obviously it was corn sausage and all that, and it was great. Absolutely scoffed it. It was no problem at all.
Yeah.
But it was funny enough. The next morning, on my TikTok, while I was chilling out and watching my TikTok feed, it was like this guy posted saying, "This is what you do if you turn up and someone tries to serve you vegan food."
Oh no.
And he walks you through the steps, and the step one is like, you acknowledge what they've said, confirm what they've said, and then the second phase is that you get up and you shake their hands and you say that it's been nice knowing you, it's been great being friends all this time, and then you walk out the door and you go to a steak place and tell them your ordeal, and then they'll look after you and make sure you're fine.
That's pretty funny.
And I said it to her, and she went, the food wasn't that bad. And I was like, yeah, we didn't have meat in it, Kaylee.
Yeah, like vegan food isn't bad, and a lot of vegan food does have a lot of flavour and is actually very good. That being said, though, and this is one thing, when I got my bloods done recently, and even Cherish was starting to struggle with veganism as it was, and I was like, okay, cool. So I went and got my bloods done as well, and they didn't come back great. Like, there were certain things that were missing. I was a lot lower, so I went from having perfect health and being in the perfect range to some of my bloods being in certain areas where they'd gone up or down slightly.
Yeah.
A lot of the density of the bone, the scans that they did that were all really low. So I'm like, yep, let's not do vegan anymore.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Because there are certain nutrients and stuff that you can't get on veganism, or that the body, although it may be in the food, the body can't change it to make it certain way. So I'm like, yep. So that's why I left, and I'm like, God damn, stupid veganism. But yeah, that being said though, there are some amazing vegan food, and vegan food can be delicious. But
don't get me wrong. I mean, would I happily switch out for a vegan meal every now and again? Absolutely. I mean, there's some good foods. But yeah, so anyway, I had a good laugh with Kaylee about that, because of course it was good fun. But of course we had the obligatory proper Northern Sunday dinner that weekend. We were at a pub lunch with one of my friends said, we'll go for it was this random pub in the middle of nowhere, and oh my god, I've never had a Sunday dinner like this in an age. It was like proper stuff, and literally she said because of course you looked at the menu. And he said, if you order the beef, you get a Yorkshire, which is fine, because it's understandable. You get a Yorkshire pudding with beef dinner.
Makes sense.
God given standard. But of course, I think, was Steve? No, someone ordered, I think it was Ellie ordered, I'll have the pork or the turkey or whatever it was. And she said, do you want a Yorkshire pudding with that? And of course I said, hang on, has anyone ever said no to that?
Yes.
Have you barred them from the pub for it? And literally, we just started making jokes of like, it was like, she would say it, because someone said, oh, I'll have the chicken, and then she said, oh, and do you want it? I said, yes, they do, because if they don't eat it, I'll have it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like people aren't going to complain because there's like an extra 3 or 4 year
on
pudding.
the table. Oh, don't worry, they will end up on
Yorkshire puddings. I remember when I went there, they went. I remember the first time I had a Sunday roast. I went out with a friend, and I was like, "Screw it, I'll just get a roast and roast vegetable. It's just easy. It's on special, whatever." And they came out with a Yorkshire pudding. And when they were explaining it to me, I'm like, "This literally sounds like a pancake batter that you guys literally just make into some weird tin." I'm like, I don't understand how this could work with roast. Okay, yeah, it's got gravy in it, so it's like a little cool boat, so you don't use maple syrup. It's kind of like a savoury pancake. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Since then, and coming back to this country, getting a roast and not getting Yorkshire pudding, I get disappointed.
Yes.
It's one of those things where it's just like, this was fucking magic. It's the stupidest thing ever, but it's...
You know what it is? It's like having bread. It's like having bread with certain meals, like bread with soup. You can't just have, once you've had or a soup and a sandwich.
Yeah.
Once you've had bread with soup, it's like, oh yeah, this is good. When you get to soup, you're like, where's the bread? It doesn't make any sense. Whereas you can't beat having Yorkshire pudding with roast in it.
It just reminds me of like for example, like as we were talking about sausages. When you have UK sausages and you come back and try to not have UK sausages.
Yeah, no, it's just not right.
There's just something that doesn't seem to work, and I'm like, I don't get it.
But yeah, so obviously Cumbria was amazing. Loved being home in my home county. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I actually felt I will happily admit that I felt quite upset and emotional when we left.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously I know that like the only time I will now go back to England is if we're going back for a wedding or a funeral or something like that.
Oh, you wouldn't go for another holiday?
Honestly, do you know how many other more beautiful places that I haven't been to down this end of the world?
That is true.
I've been to Japan, I've been to Fiji.
Japan is one of my bucket list ones, and that was the thing that I get paid out for, because they're like, you've been to 32 countries, you've never been to Asia. I was like, I went to Bali for a wedding, and that was pretty much the only place I've been. And I must say, like, Asia is, I grew up in a very Asian dominated. So I grew up in Footscray, where at the time was a massive Asian community, which was amazing, and I love the culture. And for some reason, I've just never really been there, and I don't know why.
It's funny how we've literally on our trip out. Ellie's like, you know what we need to do, Japan. It's like, I've been raving about Japan for years. It's like. So it's definitely on the list now, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So that's definitely going to be happening at some point. But yeah, I don't think I'll be we've both said that we're only probably ever going to go back to England now when an occasion is required.
Yeah.
We'll call it an occasion, because obviously there's death probably involved at some point.
Yes.
But anyway. So that's definitely on the list. But yeah, so then after Cumbria, we then went to Blackpool.
Yes. How much rock candy did you eat?
I hadn't touched a drop. I've got two. I brought two back with me. They're in the snack drawer. One of them is Prosecco. The other one is a gin and tonic.
I love that. Just let's just go fancy, just in case.
Let's go fancy. Oh yeah. Well, why? Well, I could have got my face. I could have got my name.
What? Seriously?
No. You get people. So you get boy face or the girl face.
Oh.
Generic. With different hair colours. You can get all that jazz. But, you can get everything you want in terms of rock. But I was just like, I could just get a bog standard rock, or we could get flavoured rock. And it was like three for whatever. I can't even remember what price it was. But,
yeah.
So we ended up getting that. And, but yeah, it was nice seeing my sister, and I got to see my niece, who is my brother's daughter.
Yeah.
She, because of some of the holidays, and I'll say my sister was looking after her for a couple of days, and so it was lovely getting to meet her and sort of get a bit of one-on-one time. Although it was all about the Auntie Becky show, which is fine because she doesn't know me. The last time I saw her, she was at her christening.
Oh wow.
And she was
Okay.
barely one. So, she's very young. She's 5. So,
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
Well,
But, yeah,
my brother's kid's like that. Like I've seen him at a few things, and it wasn't until he was about 4 or 5 that he managed to recognise me, and he recognised me in High Point. I didn't see him. He didn't. My brother didn't see me. And next thing you know, is supposedly his son just runs off and starts hugging a dude's leg. And I look down, and it's my nephew, and I was like,
Yeah.
he normally won't come anywhere near me. So I'm like, I'll take it.
It was good to see Edward and Liv hanging out together. It was nice. It was nice seeing that actually. It was that cousinly bond. They were talking about gaming and all that shit.
That's cute.
Different levels of gaming, but it was fun. It was cute. But yeah, so Blackpool was great, and again, great weather because as I said in the last one, apparently when you keep moving, the British weather just goes, oh well, I'll give you another 2 days of good weather. You've changed spots. Because the last time we were at Blackpool, it was blowing an absolute gale force out in the North Sea, in the Irish Sea, and you couldn't walk along the front.
And it just stopped just for you.
Up against buildings. It was ridiculous.
And it just decided to stop just for you.
I also got to meet my sister's boyfriend. I got to meet him.
Oh.
That was entertaining.
Just walk up with a baseball bat.
He's actually alright. No, I'm about to say, he's actually an alright dude, sort of thing. But he was just funny, sort of. I was like, do we need to shake hands? Do I need
to punch in the throat?
Do I need to punch him in the throat back? What level do you want?
Yeah. There's brotherly love and
not that you would care anyway, because you're my older sister. It's like you've ever cared about my opinion about who you date. But anyway. So then, what happened after that? So Blackpool then led to Birmingham. Now, originally with Birmingham, we went to Manchester. Sorry, Manchester.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to Manchester at some point.
No, we went to Manchester. So yeah, we went to Manchester and we went to the Trafford Centre for the night.
The what? The traffic centre?
The Trafford Centre.
Oh, Trafford. Sorry.
It's the biggest shopping centre, one of the biggest shopping centres, in England.
Damn.
So it's a massive mall, huge. It's my first time going ever. I'm aware of it, but I've never gone to it.
Yeah.
And I said to her, you said it's a good stop-off point, because we want to do shopping anyway, so why not do it in one, worst case scenario, if we've not done any shopping on the way there, it's a great, let's have a day, you can go off and I'll keep an eye on the boy. So, we can just go mad. And we ended up there, and it was a really nice day, actually. Yeah, but I'll say we ended up getting lots of bits and bobs, and sort of, we had a nice night. In fact, we ended up, there they have obviously cinemas and everything. It's like you can go there for the day, and there's hotels around nearby, so it's like a day and a night kind of place.
That's insane.
So they got your cinema, you got a couple of bars and restaurants and stuff like that, and then they had a bowling alley.
Oh, that's cool.
They've got a bowling alley thing, but in the bowling alley as well, they've got obviously different games. And now we could, obviously being some holidays, we couldn't get any bowling done. So we had an option of shuffleboard, which I actually was quite tempted by. But they also had, which was ice-free curling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was actually really good. So it was like, because shuffleboard, so obviously you got the hook with like the bearings.
And it's got like sandpaper and stuff on it, does it? Oh, sawdust, sorry.
No, it's slightly like balsa wood sort of thing. So you got to throw it just far enough so it gets in, like a miniature version.
Yeah, but I thought it had like sawdust on it where you had to, so it helps.
No, you're thinking of, what is it? I can't remember it now.
It's like that, isn't it? Where it's got like a metal part.
It's a bit like that. Generally, shuffleboard used to be played with a stick on a ship. Sort of thing. So shuffleboard, obviously. And he was like, you have to just put enough into it, and you have to get into a grid or a circle, or like a bullseye centric circle thing. But the ice-free curling was the same, so it's on bearings and wheels. So you're just going to get enough oomph to get it down, but of course it's going to friction and it's going to slow it down. You got no getting sweepers, of course, sort of thing. So we had a great. We played about 2 games. It was really good fun. So because we had the lane booked for like an hour.
That's kind of cool.
It was great. Actually, it was hilarious playing it. And he was getting frustrated because either he was giving it. Basically, whenever you give it too much weather, there was a bit at the back that was like padding. Like it was like a dip padding thing, so you just fall off into the thing. And every time anyone would do it, I was like, to the moon! So whenever I did it, it was just like, Dad, will you stop that? And I went, no, absolutely not.
It's too much. It's too much fun.
I was having a great day, sort of thing, because of course we didn't have to go anywhere. So I was I was then having quite a few drinks.
He's drinking responsibly.
I did not drink responsibly whatsoever this entire holiday, because why not? So then, yes, so we did our shopping day, and then after Manchester we went to Birmingham. Now, the original plan with Birmingham is we were going to Alton Towers.
Yes.
We were going to stay at the hotels and all that jazz, and it was going to be fun. But, sadly, at the beginning of our holiday, our Ellie's friend, who we were meeting with her daughters to go to Alton Towers, her eldest daughter had busted her arm.
Oh,
I was
no.
like, that's not that much of a problem. I said, no, she's in the cast. I went, again, not that bad. She went, no, full cast.
What?
Full
From
cast.
like the shoulder down?
Yeah, like shoulder down. I was like, okay. Could she be a bag holder? Stand in the queues? And she went, apparently that's cruel to do. I was like, oh. So anyway, but luckily her friend also said, well, why don't we do Cadbury's World? I.e., Cadbury's Chocolate Factory.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, as in a chocolate factory?
Yeah, we went to Cadbury's World instead.
And we just ate our weight in gold.
It was so good.
Yeah, it sounds like you actually won.
What was it? We paid honestly we did win, because driving from Manchester to Birmingham, that was one of the worst days of weather we've ever seen. Like, it was literally lashing it down. So if we'd gone to Alton Towers, because literally Alton Towers is literally just up from Birmingham, it was tipping it down the entire day. So half the rides would have been off, and the other half would have been queued up and everything else. So we looked out massively that day. Looked out. It was so good.
So you just ate your weight in chocolate.
Yeah, but it was funny because you said, do you want to buy the Cadbury's bags on the way in? So we get into the thing, do you? I was like, how much are they? They said, it's £2. It's £2 for for like a bag. And I was like, well, there's 3 kids. Right? It's £6. Crack on. What she didn't mention is, is this nice little Cadbury bag, like this, like that big. And they give you about 8 bars of chocolate, like different like chocolates in it as well. Like, not even like, we're not talking fun size, we're talking like bars. And I was like, sweet, fine,
Wait, here's another £5. Give us a few more, eh?
It was like, yeah, fine, crack on. It was like, so literally we were going around and we did the full tour and everything else, and it was great. We had a great time. And then we ended up having because obviously Birmingham, for those of you who are non-British, Birmingham has a massive Indo-Asian community. They are very well known for a good curry.
Oh.
If you're in Birmingham, they are known for a good curry. So of course we hired an Airbnb for the night.
Yep.
So we changed all our plans. Instead of staying in Alton Towers, we stayed in Birmingham City Centre. Had an Airbnb for the night, got beers in, and so we ordered a banquet. And I mean a banquet. And we weren't planning on ordering a banquet. We planned on just getting a couple of curries, but you know what happens when 2 people who haven't been in Britain for 5 years suddenly go, I haven't had that in Serenade.
And also have been on the beers.
Yeah, it was a bad idea. But we ate, honest to God, I think I put at least about 2 of the kilos I put on must have been
just from
session
curry.
alone. Massive, I kid you not.
That's what dreams are made of. That's one thing I do miss. That's one thing I miss about the UK is just drinking and going out for a curry.
Oh God, honestly, it was worth it. But yeah,
and especially because last night I was talking to my friend Bonnie, who is one of the girls that obviously I met at the Britannia with Megs, and all 3 of us have been friends famously. And I must say, like, I reckon if I wasn't buying a house, I would be saving, and I'd be like, I just want to go and visit her again, because we used to go out, and because she used to work at an Indian restaurant, whenever we went out, we just go, Bonnie, just order for us. And she is vegetarian, but to be fair, when it comes to curries, it doesn't need meat. Like, the flavour is so amazing that it doesn't need meat. So she would literally just order like 15 things, and because she knew what she was talking about, the guy at the local curry shop went, oh, she's cute, and she knows about Indian food. So we used to just bring out, like, we got unlimited naans, we got stupid things, and I'm like, I just miss a good curry. Like, there's just something about about getting shit-faced and then going, get on the curries.
It was so good just having a proper curry again, but yeah. So we had a good night. Very full, like very, very full. Like the next day, uncomfortable, really full. It was so bad. And then we were going to North Wales. We were going to Aberystwyth, which is all the way over on the west coast. Yes, but of course, as the show highlights, we were kind of on the way.
It would have been rude not to.
It would have been very rude not to.
And for our unhealthy love affair of all things Papa Reynolds, I think we probably would have been kicked out of the fan club.
I will say it, for those of you who are not watching the vidcast, which is available on Spotify and on YouTube, you're not watching the vidcast, I am currently sat here in a beautiful Wrexham football top, because I couldn't resist. Because what was really funny, though, is literally I said to Elle, because I asked Elle to check the morning of, and said, just curiously, is it match day? Because obviously we're travelling on a Saturday.
Yeah. And
Saturday is notoriously match day for football, sort of thing. And we're in summertime and everything else. And she went, no, I had a look. No, it's that I think they're playing away. And I'm like, all right, no problem. Crack on. And of course, as we're getting there, it's busier and busier. And it's like, I think we were like 10 o'clock in the morning at this. No, what time was it? We were like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Mm.
And then suddenly we get to Wrexham. So we've actually gotten into Wrexham.
Yeah.
Great. And then suddenly I start noticing a cop car. I'm like, all right. And then there's another cop car.
Oh God, it's match day.
Keep going down, and there's more, and I'm like, babes, yes, are you sure it's not match day? And she went, no, it's not match day. I said, there's an awful lot of police here for a day that's not involving a match. And she was like, let me just quickly look. So she pulls it up, and she went, what date are we? I went, with this date. She went, oh my God, it's match day. I said,
did you go? Did you actually get to go in?
No, we did. No, the match was at 4 o'clock, and we had to be over at Aberystwyth, so we wouldn't have had time to go.
Well, could you have bought tickets though if it was?
I doubt we didn't look, because if I'd looked and could have, I would have stayed. She could have literally just left me there. I would have got a hotel for the match, and then somehow get myself over in the morning. But yeah, I would have happily gone to the match. If I had known that was an option, I would have. Honestly, if I'd known there was an option for staying and watching the football, I would have. It would have been awesome to watch. Anyway, by the by. So anyway, we ended up finally getting the parking spot, which took forever and an age, as you can imagine, on match day. But of course we ended up going and went to the match shop.
Yep.
Got myself a top. Ellie got herself a scarf, because why not?
It's Papa Reynolds. It's big Papa Reynolds.
It's Papa Reynolds. Although I realised afterwards I missed an absolute trick while I was in the store.
Oh God!
Of what I could have done. I could have done a bit of a prank on you, and I was going to this is hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is an absolute exclusive for Dorks Down Under, and I was going to do like an intro thing.
I'll do like a full intro with Papa Reynolds.
A full intro and say, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Reynolds. I was going to hand the camera over to Eddie.
You should have had like a cardboard cutout or something, or cut it there.
I was going to send it to you and just to prank you, or get into that. Or there's someone special here at Wrexham Football Club who wants to say hello.
and it's Eddie.
I was going to do something like that.
And then it's just Eddie.
Just hand it to Eddie, and just immediately could have imagined your reaction, going, "You absolute bastard."
That would have been funny though. I won't lie. That would have been fucking hilarious.
It would have been, but I only thought about it about 3 days after the fact. I was like, God damn it, that was an opportunity missed.
Those are the worst things when you're like, I've just had like a genius level prank a week too late. You're like, damn it.
Too late, yeah. It is. No, it was one of those annoying things, but I was just like, oh well, these things do happen.
No, it's good though. I mean, that's the thing though. Like, so was it a match store? So it was an actual match store, so...
Actual match store? Yeah, this is an official from the actual ground itself.
Oh, so you did? Yeah, that's what I meant. I thought you meant you found a shop that sold them in the thing.
No. This is not the shop. This is the actual current. This is the current season top.
Betty Buzz.
Betty Buzz. Don't know what Betty Buzz is. Anyway,
and I don't care. It's the closest I'm getting to Big Daddy Reynolds all over my body.
I'll tell you what, it's a very comfortable shirt to be in, I'll be honest. It's very comfortable. I have no problem with it. It's great.
He's like, I don't even like soccer, but this team, something special.
Honestly, this is my team now, bro. This is my team, and it's only because I'm a nerd. I can't be helped.
Yeah. To be fair though, I reckon they've made so much money from pretty much that. Like,
I'll tell you what, it was great walking through the town, and you
on a
could
match
see,
day.
you could see all the you could see all the lineages shirts as well.
Yeah.
Like you had the away green ones, like the really old ones, even before it got took over by Aviator Gin and all that jazz. And then you saw all the different levels of sponsorship. It was really cool.
Well, that's the best thing, and that's one thing that I do love about obviously when you go to a match day. There's just something special. There's something different. The vibe of the town. You really get to feel that vibe of the town. You get to see the different people and where they fit in. Like you've got old men that have got shirts from like 30 years ago. You've got the young kids with the newest ones. It's just something special, and that's one thing that I've always said. I'm like, if you get to go, even if you don't go to a match, just go on the match day, and it's just something special.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have more stories, and we have more to follow on. But
Oh, really?
I'm going to cut it there because I really need to go to the toilet because we broke the seal. This is the problem when we're doing these long ones. I'm going to have to break the seal, and we're going to get
Jesus
short.
Christ. There's going to be like 17 episodes.
Oh, God, no, it's not. It's not. I'm going to be able to fit in because we're literally 2/3 of the way through now. Because we're at Wales. We're at Wales.
And then I get to tell you how my week's been.
Yeah, pretty much.
After three episodes, I get to go, yeah, I didn't do much. It was alright.
I didn't do much. It was the same. Oh, let's crack on. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we want to end the episode right here. Please
Again?
come back for part 3. Part 3. Yes, again, part 3. We are going to be available. Please make sure you like, follow, subscribe. We are available on all good podcast software. Can't even speak now. We are available on all good podcast websites and software. You can follow us on our socials at Dorks Down Under at TikTok as well as Twitter. And yeah, I'll say please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and get the algorithm going and everything else.
Yes. And I might actually get a beer for this episode.
I think you need a beer quickly. Yes, I'll say I need a toilet break. You need a beer. I need more beer because why not? Why not?
It's low carb.
It's low carb. I can enjoy it guilt-free.
I know that we say that, but I'm like, I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but
we don't need to speak about this. Anyway, much love. Cash out. Peace out.
Layers.